Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thanks, Steve. Today I'm going to interview a couple from North Carolina. He is semi-retired, but she is actively working for a company. In fact, she encouraged the firm to let her go RVing full-time as a way to save money and time. Today's episode is sponsored by Workamper News. With its Diamond and Platinum membership tools, Workamper News is much more than just a job listing website. When you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. The one-year memberships open the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then a Diamond or Platinum membership is for you. You can even get started with a free 30-day trial by visiting www.workamper.com/trial. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. Jill and Randy Shepard are from Raleigh, North Carolina, which is their home base. They have been RVing for a little over a year after having started out of necessity during the COVID lockdowns. They had been looking for a specific RV for quite some time when she was notified on Easter Sunday that a rig she liked was for sale at a price she wanted. They opted for a Class C motorhome because Class Bs were too small for what they wanted to do as full-timers, and Class As were too big. They found a unit with upgraded leather furniture and automatic levelers. So they booked a flight to California, picked up the RV in the dark, tried spending their first night at a Walmart parking lot, and then made their way to Raleigh via St. Louis. Jill works in a sales position for Senior Living, a company with 120 locations around the country which provides care and housing for seasoned citizens. She is assigned to work at 14 of those locations, where she remains on site for 10 days in a row, then has 4 days off and repeats the cycle. The company gives her a stipend that pays for her RV site and food every day. She opened the company's eyes to how cost-effective and efficient living in an RV would be for the type of work she was doing. The company contemplated the idea and quickly agreed. It costs the firm far less money to pay for all the RV expenses than it would cost to pay for airline tickets, hotels, rental cars, and restaurant meals. Although Randy is semi-retired, he works as Jill's chauffeur in driving her from location to location around the country. His mission is also to support her by having dinner ready and keeping the RV in tip-top shape. He also plans all the travel, including selecting routes and finding campsites along the way, as well as one to stay at for a few weeks when they arrive at their new destination. Randy admits that he was very hesitant about the idea of full-time RVing at first, and it took him more than a year to even go to an RV show to look at units. He explains what finally convinced him to jump into the RV lifestyle. Randy has videotaped several of their adventures, including the times they've spent at Harvest Host locations. To tell us more about their adventures and their unique work camping arrangement, please welcome Jill and Randy Shepard to the show. Thank you for joining me today, Jill and Randy. I really appreciate the time. Where are you from and where are you at right now?
We're from Raleigh, North Carolina is the home base. Durham is our actual official address. That's where our son lives. And then we're up visiting our daughter in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Very nice. Like that area.
It's beautiful. This time of year, a little wet sometimes because we're near Lake Michigan, and so you get a lot of that wetness off. But definitely prefer it to the snow.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been RVing?
Well, only 1 year. Almost. We just finished a little over a year.
Just over a year now. Yes.
Just so you started in the middle of a pandemic. That had to have been interesting.
We had been about a year researching what we wanted, so I put a search out in the RV Trader, and Easter Sunday last year, I got a ping that something that I wanted had hit the price that I wanted, and so I jumped on it. And unbeknownst to us, because we were first timers, we didn't really know what we were getting into. We made an excellent choice, just based on all the research through the YouTubers and everybody else that kind of puts help out there for those of us who say, make sure you get this and this. We got a really good deal at a really good price, and a lot of things thrown into it that we weren't expecting that are just really lovely.
What did you get?
We got the big double fridge, with it's a 4-door fridge. Our queen bed is flat all the time while we're traveling, which we found out is huge for people like me who work 16 hours a day, and then I sleep when he's driving me through several states. We got upgraded leather. We got the automatic hydraulic, what are those called?
Levelers.
The levelers.
Those are nice.
Just those little things that make RV living very simple, very fun, very easy. It's a Ford F450, E450. And so we're familiar with the engines coming from the Michigan area. And so it wasn't a big stretch. We didn't do a diesel. We didn't know how to do a diesel.
We chose a 32-foot Class C. We had looked at Class Bs initially, and they were just too small for what we wanted to do.
For full time.
Mm-hmm.
For full time, it's just too hard. Yeah.
And then the Class A's just seemed to be too large for what we wanted to do. And so we settled on this 32-foot Class C, and we're very, very pleased with it.
Oh, very good. And so where have you been traveling since you got it?
Well, when we picked it up, we found out we got it. We got the financing within, 3 or 4 days. And so we got flights to
Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California. At the time, I was in St. Louis in lockdown. And so we kind of snuck away from lockdown, got on a plane, flew to California, picked it up in the dark. There was a lot of trust involved here, and picked it up in the dark and drove over to Walmart for our first night, which lasted about 4 hours. We didn't realize that Walmart does not allow overnight sleepers, so they came and banged on our wall. And so we went up and we found a bunch of other RVers in a park, and so we parked next to them and spent the rest of the night. And then we drove it back to
St. Louis to pick up a car, and then on to Raleigh.
Yeah.
Between
so we almost drove ocean to ocean.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Huh.
For our first trip, without the refrigerator on, without knowing how to turn anything on.
That's interesting. Yeah. And so, have you been work camping the entire time? Well, you work on a business of your own, or you're working for a company on your own, right?
Yeah, I work for a company. I work for Senior Lifestyle right now, and my job is on site 10 days, and then home 4 days, and then back on site 10 days. But since the pandemic, they've been paying for my rent, everything, the food, mileage, if I'll stay on site. So basically they've got me, 7 days, and I get a couple of weekends off here and there. But I'm on site almost 2 months, a month or 2 months. And they pay for the lot, and they pay for my food, and I have a stipend per day. And so I'm making almost a salary in that, which is really great. It's made this smooth transfer as we.
Well, it was a transition, obviously, from the beginning, because they weren't quite aware that we were RVing full time at that point. And it became a point where it was very cost effective for them to do it that way, versus the flights to and from, the car rentals, the hotel bills. All of that would have been a lot more expensive. And so we have become a cheaper alternative. And that's something that we have arranged with her company to allow us to do that.
Okay.
It's been very mutually beneficial for both of us.
Yeah, so you're saving your employer some money.
Definitely saving them $1,000, maybe $2,000 a month, just because of, not only that, and I'm on site all the time as opposed to being gone for 4 days, and basically business stops while I'm gone. So,
what do you do for Senior Lifestyle?
I work in the offices. I'm in sales. So what I would do is admissions, talk with families, work them through the process, help get assessments done with the nurses, make sure that they're going into the appropriate care. whether that be, independent, assisted, independent with care, assisted, skilled, memory, all of that. So it just really depends on the community I'm servicing at the time. But I'm filling in for people who were, during the pandemic, were sick and were out. So literally, I don't know, we've been to St. Louis, we've been to Dallas, we've been to Memphis, we've been to Charlotte, we've been to DC. That was it, right?
I think that's
just over the last year.
And a couple times we've been back and forth to Dallas, a couple times to Memphis, and so it's where they need her the most, and it's arranging the travel to get to that location, be able to stay on site nearby or on site if necessary. And so it's just a lot of logistics.
Our parents were appalled. Our kids were appalled. Everybody was appalled we were doing this because they just didn't realize all of the help and the apps that are out there that make this pretty seamless. And all the help, there's just a ton of help out there.
Okay. And so Senior Lifestyle isn't a place. It's a conglomerate or a group of companies scattered around the country that provide sort of like independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing kind of things.
Correct. Yeah, they own or manage 120 some properties all over the United States.
Wow.
I support 14, so I'm assigned to 14 specifically.
Okay, so you have to make regular trips to each of these 14 properties.
I do, depending on the need at the property. Yeah, then the only one I haven't visited was the one in Florida. I haven't had to go down there yet. And Ohio. There's a couple in Ohio that I haven't had to go to yet, but they've been they're getting closer to the top of the list.
So these are scattered really all over the country. It's not like you're in charge of an entire region.
Traveling in an airplane and getting a car, it's very fatiguing, very fatiguing. I would get home for my 4 days and spend 2.5 sleeping. So it just wasn't conducive for family life work. The work-life balance is not good when you're that spread out.
So you folks are using the RV to stay in on site when you're visiting these properties.
Absolutely.
It's not really on site. We try to locate a great campground nearby, as close as we can get to the communities that she works at. Okay. Sometimes they have the 2-week thing, so we move every 2 weeks. Sometimes we're able to stay
keep paying,
and pay by the month. It depends on what the needs are, how long we expect to be there. So there's a lot of that going on in the background, is just managing those time frames and making sure that we are moving safely, and that
kind of like we're going to DC tomorrow. It's going to take us, we're going to take 2-3 days to go, nice and slow. I don't have to be at work until Monday, but I'd like to get there on site. And we are staying on site because it's Thomas Circle within, blocks of the Washington, DC. And so it's a 10-story building. So the RV will actually go into a storage done by Neighbor for $150 for the month?
Yep.
For the month. So we'll lock her up, store her up, cover her up for the month that I'm in DC. And if it lasts longer, we just, up for more time.
Okay. Very good. Now, this is still work camping because you are using an RV for a job and you're being paid to be in your RV. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think work camping is only working at campgrounds, but there are a lot of opportunities out there for people to work in and live in their RVs for other companies. Yeah. So whose idea was it to get an RV to do this?
It was mine, definitely.
Definitely hers. I was very resistant. It took her a year to even get me
to the Hershey, and that was a surprise.
So you sprung it on him at a Hershey show?
I did. I had him meet me near the Hershey show, and I'm like, hey, there's this RV thing going on. It's only 4 hours away. Let's drive and let's just go see. And it's really inexpensive. Let's just go. And he went, which was my whole objective the whole time.
And the Hershey show, for people who aren't familiar, is put on by the Pennsylvania RV Association. And it's the largest or second largest consumer RV show in the country every year. And so there are thousands of RVs there, along with all kinds of supplier organizations and booths and things like that. So you kind of jumped right in to take a look at what it all had, what was all available.
It was great because you could actually sit inside them and get a feel for the size. Randy was looking at it being in it 24/7 and having to maintain it. So it had to have certain engines. It had to have certain um, efficiencies so that things weren't hard for him. We're not young chickens, so we didn't want to, take on more than we could handle. And they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until we found the 32-foot was about the smallest that we felt we could comfortably live in full time.
Yeah, I'm a computer geek, and so engines and maintaining vehicles, it's let's take it in and have it paid for.
Yes.
But I'm doing a lot of the maintenance myself because of the great tools that are out there to walk you through maintaining the RV, traveling in the RV. There's a lot of help out there if you're willing to look and investigate.
There's a couple of books that we bought too.
Yep. That's when we were looking at some of the specific types of RVs, and we were looking at them and we going, okay, does this fit or does this not fit? And that's what built the criteria that we end up choosing this Class C.
We do have one major challenge that we've found. Because of my work, I'm generally in suits, heels, dresses, makeup, hair, which isn't really conducive to camping. But we've come up with a great solution for that. In the last 4 months, we bought a Ford Transport, and our RV is now called Waldette because that's a joke on how the kids felt when we first where's Waldo? Where are my parents during pandemic? They've gone crazy about an RV. But we bought this Transit, and that is my closet. So we've got hangers up in there. Everything I need for work is literally in my Ford Transit. So the RV is an enjoyable, calm, fun space to be in, and then I just drive to work with the Transit, do my Superwoman change, and go into work.
Now, Randy, are you working from the RV as well?
No, I'm not working from the RV. It's I was looking at doing some music and some other things on the side, but it really is more important to make sure that she is the one that's working, that she is supported. Because sometimes
it's all working.
that everything's working on the RV, that if she has any kind of job can be stressful, especially in the type of work that she's doing. And so making sure that her life works.
I hate to say it, but I come home to a hammock and dinner. It's really lovely. I really am kind of spoiled. So I'll put in an 8 or 10 hour day, 150%. I'm come back to the campsite. I'm looking up at the trees. I'm laying in the hammock. Dinner's ready, and it's ideal. It's really a great balance to de-stress after the day.
So without this RV, you would be flying on your own to all of these locations, leaving Randy behind?
Always, every 10 days, every 10 days. So Monday through the Wednesday, go home through the weekend and fly out the next Monday. And it's early flights out because you're trying to get in before 10. You're renting a car, you're packing, it really is a nightmare. It's, if you want to see your spouse or have time together, it's, I guess that's why we get paid well, but it's not conducive for a great relationship, is it?
Yeah, because when there was about 7 or 8 months after I'd essentially retired, and I'm not of retirement age yet, getting there, but she was never home. And when she came home, she was tired and exhausted, and it just didn't seem, there was
no connection.
There was really no connection. And so we found that this would be a way for us to be together, because we enjoyed being together. We've worked together in the past, and we wanted to spend more time together, because that's the reason for getting married in the first place.
Well, yeah. And now that we have the Ford Transit, depending on what we do, we might pick up an Amazon shift or whatever with that Ford Transit, where you can pick up shifts as you like, 4 hours, 3 hours at a time kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean delivering packages?
Sure.
Yeah, something that we're looking at is something, but again, we move so often, and quite often it can be within a week's notice and say, oh, you're going here. And so we just need to be ready to be moved at the last moment if we need to.
So if you have to move so quickly, does that cause a problem in trying to find camping spaces?
Not usually. It's the big one is I usually like to use the Harvest Host if I can along the way to have it fun. But if we don't, or quite often our favorite restaurant has become Cracker Barrel,
right?
Because they're so accommodating for those who are on the road.
Especially towing a vehicle, because we're a little bit longer than your average RV space, so they'll let you pull along behind the building, and then you get a wonderful breakfast or a wonderful dinner, whichever you prefer, before you head out. But Cracker Barrel is probably our number one go-to place if we can't find a Harvest Host along the way. Okay. And yes, they would probably pay for camping along the way, but for us, hooking up for one night for just a few hours is not.
Right,
yeah.
Right. That is a problem. Okay, very good.
But as far you kind of mentioned, have we had problems finding locations? And I was surprised is that we didn't have that many problems. We usually have about a 1 or 2 weeks notice, and I start using the RV Trip Wizard and locating places, and then start trying to register for a certain week. Sometimes they're blocked for certain days. When we, for example, when we went back to Texas, and we couldn't get into a couple of our favorite parks. We found other parks that were conducive and close by, and ended up liking them anyway. So it's just using your tools that you have out there available, the apps that are so helpful for RVers, especially full-timers. And sometimes you may have to move within the park like we did. I was surprised at one of our favorite parks. It was at Carowinds in near Charlotte, North Carolina, and they had a week where we couldn't get into one of the spots, and so and they had sold out one night, so we went to a Harvest Host for the night. So
we went up to a brewery, which was about 2 hours away.
Yeah,
not even that, and just kind of hung out it was a weekend, so why not? And it was fun.
Okay, that's neat. I've heard of other RVers using Harvest Host, and you've had good experiences with them.
Very good. We've actually found some of our favorites, and we've been back 2 or 3 times as we go through going across the country.
Randy actually did a video of all the Harvest Hosts we visited over the last year and posted it on his little biking site. What is it? DJ
Psychopath. It's a YouTube channel, just music and stuff that I do. It's a hobby.
He highlighted Harvest Hosts just because we just had so much fun over the last year visiting them.
And Harvest Host provides a free space for a night, but there's you purchase
their membership, and they have hundreds of hosts around the country, and you basically arrange to stay at their location if they have the space. And as long as you're utilizing their services, let's say you're stopping at a brewery or a distillery or a golf course or whatever, as long as you stop in.
We stopped at Shenandoah Caves.
Shenandoah Caverns is a Harvest Host.
That was awesome.
You park there and you just go into the caves. You have a wonderful time there, and you're allowed to stay there overnight for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's neat.
So it's a great way. You got to eat anyway in a lot of places, or if you like to, if you like wine, or if you like beer,
or tastes or flights or things like that. That's great to just do a flight. And many of them become friends. The Samuel T. Bryant one is in Missouri.
Jackson, Tennessee.
So we pass it a lot of times going to these communities. And so whenever we pass it, we stop in, and they kind of know us now. But when you call, you tell them, this is my rig, this is what I'm pulling, this is how long, and they'll say, oh yeah, you can get around here, or our parking lot cannot accommodate you. And so ahead of time whether or not it's going to be an easy turnaround, or if you're just in a field and you can turn around, that's no problem. But some of them have outbuildings, and they'll let you know exactly what they can accommodate. They're very educated on RVs, which was great.
Mm-hmm. That's neat.
One of them even gave us power and water, didn't they?
Well, yeah, they did.
They did. Yeah, that was cool. That was a surprise.
There is an expectation that you support the company or the place that you're staying. So if they are a winery, that you might buy a bottle or two of wine, or if they're a farm.
Exactly.
Definitely go in and sample. You go in and sample, find something that you like. There's nothing forced about it. They're very pleasant. They're very nice about it. But honestly, I haven't found one yet that I didn't want to buy a bottle of wine, or they didn't give us, a mold kit to go with it, or something fun for the season. The people are outstanding. They're just outstanding.
Yeah, typically these are just small businesses, family-owned, operated farms and distilleries, breweries, and they love to show their wares, their what they have to offer, and it's just a great way to tour the country. We've stopped at the Grissom Air Museum on one of our trips.
That was fun.
And just went in to look at the museum and all the aircraft that they have on their site. It was just a very, very interesting, fun little stop.
Well, and we're so excited because tomorrow we leave for DC and we're going to go to Elkhart, Indiana, which is the first time we've been there. Of course, we have a Forest River, so I'm very, very excited. But we're going to go look at the RV museum they have there where they talk about that. So we're going to stay there for the first night.
Remarkable. Yep. And if you can, you need to drive over to Goshen, I believe is where it is, and the Blue Plate, if they're open through all of the COVID. It's delicious Amish food.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great to know.
Yes. Yes. You'll need to they'll roll you out of there. I mean, my goodness.
That's the great thing about Harvest Host is that you're not driving anywhere afterwards. So if you get a little bit too much, then
you just crawl right into your rig and go to sleep.
There you go. That's good. So you do have time to play along
We
the
do.
way. Okay.
We do. We make time. One of the RVers we listened to said no more than 350 miles a day or be done by 3:30 and you'll enjoy it. And he's absolutely correct.
Okay.
Because that's our rule for moving, which is why we take longer to get to places than most people. But we definitely stop along the way to visit and just really enjoy the country, because that's the whole lifestyle, is to enjoy the route as well as the camping.
What are some of your favorite places that you visited?
Well, definitely the Shenandoah Caverns. That was number really high on the list.
And there's always some surprising campgrounds. We stopped at a couple different ones in Dallas, and one of the most inexpensive ones we stayed at was in Louisville.
Yep.
And it was only $20 a night. It wasn't, they didn't have a lot of amenities, but you're surrounded on three sides by lake.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Sunrise, sunsets, outstanding moon shots, and it was $20 a night with electric and water.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's just looking at the reviews. We use the RV Life app, and we look at the reviews and say, okay, it doesn't have a lot of amenities, but it's a beautiful place to stop, and people are nice. And it's just really doing your due diligence as you're traveling around and knowing where you're stopping. And sometimes you get surprised that you say, hey, I stopped at this place, was there a week. It wasn't exactly my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move on.
Yeah, Samuel T. Bryant's one of our favorite. We go there a lot.
So I think the other real key thing is to know and how to operate your RV. I think one of the best things that we have ever done, and this was Jill's idea, was to get a tire pressure monitoring system, and that has saved us a lot. We've had 3 different valve stems go bad on us. And we didn't, really couldn't identify what it was, but we kept losing air pressure. And so having those kinds of tools, having the maintenance programs that says, okay, you should look at this every time you go, knowing how to change or put distilled water in your batteries. There's all these kinds of things that as a newbie, we discovered, and just the research, and that's kind of what I feel my role is in making Jill's life as she is working a lot more pleasant.
Okay.
Well, and the whole point is to enjoy the time together, enjoy the views. We love this so much. I told him I'm more happier this year than I have been in the whole last 5 years of my career, which I shouldn't say 5 years. I've been in this business. We owned a community for a while, and I love the seniors. I love working with them, but now I'm really enjoying myself, and I've got the time to breathe and really give more of myself to the job, because I come back and I'm relaxed, and it's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have time? Does your employer allow you to schedule your visits so that you can go from California to Florida and make stops along the way? Or would you wind up literally going from California to Florida to Seattle to Indiana?
We just did Dallas to DC.
Yeah, right.
We did Dallas to DC. That was a quick trip, faster than I would have liked it. Sometimes they do schedule it that quickly.
But I have a say-so in that. And so we decided after that trip, because we were only in DC 8 days, and then there was an emergency in Charlotte. So we had to undo. So we had basically put the RV in a place where it was going to be a month. We had covered it. And 8 days later, they said, you're moving. So we had to repack the transit, repack the RV, start the refrigerator back up, and get down to Charlotte, which was a quick drive, but it was a lot of work to get everything going again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna plan a little more time in between assignments, just to make sure that we get that time to enjoy and not be rushed.
When you're traveling, is one of you driving the transit and the other driving the RV?
No, we tow.
You tow.
We've been looking at getting either a flat tow, but right now we're just using U-Hauls because they're so easy to pick up. They're relatively inexpensive, so we pull the transit on a tow dolly.
Okay, so you rent one from U-Haul each time you move?
Yep. In any major move, if it's a small move, if it's an hour or two,
Right.
we will not.
Right.
But if it's across the country, or like we're going to pick one up tomorrow on our way to DC, and then spend 3 or 4 days getting to DC before we, and put Waldette back to sleep for a month. So we'll cover her up and get her ready to go, put everything in the transit, and then drive into DC.
Okay.
I think we're keeping her in Virginia this time?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because it's all really close. It's within like 40 minutes of the community. But,
Right.
She's going to be in a field nice and safe. And so
Super.
we'll cover it up and away we go.
Do you know where you're going after that?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I keep waiting for them to call me and tell me I'm not going to DC. I'm going somewhere else. But, I'm officially on vacation through tomorrow.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So do you have any other advice for people who are considering the work camping and RVing lifestyle?
Do it sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid, and take it a piece at a time. Randy was really worried about the maintenance side of it. So we just got the tools that he needed to be comfortable with checklists and things like that until he got a rhythm. I knew I would love it. I really don't care if I break down on the road or not. We've got all the Sam's assistance and all the things that can help us if we're broke down. So and of course I have the safety net of my job. So if your business or your employer will allow you to do this, show them how you're going to save money. I save them anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a month on work camping, as opposed to flying, renting a car, getting a hotel, let alone the logistics of all that, and time and energy that's spent on that isn't spent on their business.
Right.
And so I've proven that being on site, I can more focus on their business, getting things done, as opposed to my logistics of traveling.
And I've talked to a couple of folks that are full-time RVers as well, who are on the road, and they still have to travel, they still have to fly. And it's a matter of communicating. I'm working from home, and you can do that so well now. I mean, right now we're using a jetpack to communicate with you. We could have, tried to pull from our daughter's Wi-Fi, but it's, occasionally spotty. It's more stable.
Yeah.
And so you find those things on the road that help you as if you're you're working and you're working from home, quote unquote.
Yeah.
What's more, why can't you do that from my home that's on wheels?
Well, not only that, they had me split between 2 communities. One was in DC, one was in Charlotte last year during the pandemic. And so I obviously physically couldn't be in both. So we ended up staying in the North Carolina area, and we just used the jetpack, and we stayed at different campgrounds. And I worked for both. I found a really great clip-on for the dining, we have a U-dinette. And so I found a clamp-on, basically a desk. So it holds a PC, it holds because we were doing a lot of Zoom calls, it holds the light, it holds the microphone if I wanted it, but it had all those pieces clamped onto my dining room table while I was working there. When I wasn't working there, I just took the clamp off and everything came down. It was really, really nice.
Super.
It wasn't that expensive. So.
Very good. I had originally mentioned or recommended the Blue Plate Cafe in Goshen, and that's not right. It's the Blue Gate restaurant and bakery in Shipshewana that has the delicious Amish food. So if you're
Okay.
It's not
Blue
too-
Gate. Got it.
Blue Gate.
Blue
not,
Gate.
not too
Got
far
it.
from Elkhart.
Shipshewana.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to get on the road again because I think I've converted him to being someone who likes to be on the road. And we don't have a sticks and bricks. We got rid of that when we bought the RV. It took us 30 days. We literally put everything on auction. We brought an auctioneer in, right down to the jacuzzi. We just didn't care what those numbers were. We have a 5x10 storage where we've got things like, family paintings, heirlooms, things like that. We keep going through that, and every time we go through Raleigh, we take more out of that, like everybody else, and trim it down because you realize you don't need as many things as you have. And our household was at the point where we've been married 40 years now, so our stuff wasn't brand new, so it didn't really matter when we sold it. So if we ever started off an apartment again, I don't know, that'd be pretty hard.
Yep.
I think we'll go join one of those assisted living RV parks.
There you go. Super. Well, thank you very much for sharing this story with me. I really appreciate it. It sounds like a great opportunity, not only for you folks to see America, but to help save your employer some money as well, and to maintain a better marriage.
Exactly. I'm a sales specialist by trade. You'll see a lot of those jobs out there. So if a sales specialist hears this, I'm happy to answer any questions. It just really works well. We don't have any little kids. We are definitely older than that. So we come and see the grandkids when we come through town, and that's about it. And they like Grandma and Grandpa's bus, they call it.
Very good. Well, thank you again. I appreciate the time.
Well, we appreciate you too, Greg.
I'm thankful that Jill and Randy Shepard shared their experiences with us today. They're not work camping in the traditional sense, but they are using an RV for work, and that qualifies too. Jill was really smart to pitch the cost-saving aspects of staying in an RV full-time to her employers. She estimates that even by paying her a stipend for food and campgrounds in order to stay in her RV, she saves the company $2,000 a month. Plus, she and Randy get to see each other every day rather than 4 days every 2 weeks. For them, RVing full-time has been a lifesaver, maintaining a great relationship, and it allows Jill to go home so she can get a good night's rest in order to be sharp and effective for work the next day. She can focus her time on getting things done at work rather than worrying about the logistics for her next trip. There has never been a better time for disciplined, self-motivated workers to do their jobs anywhere they wish to travel, as long as they have a laptop, electricity, and internet connection. RVing makes working remotely much more fun. Randy and Jill like to plot out their trips so they're driving no more than 350 miles a day, and they're often off the road by 3:30 in the afternoon. That's a reasonable distance, so they can arrive early enough at their new location to have a few hours to unwind and check out the area. I've talked to many full-time RVers like Jill and Randy who really enjoy staying at Harvest Host locations when they're moving from point A to point B. Jill and Randy seem to enjoy the time they've spent at Harvest Host locations they visited. You can check out some of the videos Randy has produced by going to YouTube and searching for DJ Cycle Path. That's his YouTube channel. I wish the Shepards the very best of luck as they crisscross the country having fun, while Jill provides a valuable and important service for senior living. Not everyone needs a job to be able to work out of an RV. You can own your own business too. The Small Business RVer School is a course developed by Workamper News designed specifically for entrepreneurs on the move. It helps them build a business they can run anytime from anywhere. The self-directed course can help you be your own boss while reducing stress and saving on taxes. Through a series of online videos and monthly calls, you are taught the steps necessary to build and manage a successful mobile business. Life is too short, so do what you want to do when you want to do it by starting a small business of your own. For more information, visit www.smallbizrver.com. That's all I have for this week's show. Next week, I'll be doing a follow-up interview with the first couple I interviewed for this podcast back in 2019. They have some fun experiences to share and really have some good advice for people thinking about becoming work campers or full-time RVers. I'll have that interview next time on The Workamper Show. Thanks for listening.